Hello and welcome to lesson 83 of the Learning Guitar series. In this lesson we're going to discuss slash chords and their relation with the harmonic minor modes. I'm fully aware that we have not discussed in detail the harmonic minor modes the same way we did with the melodic minor and the major modes. Nevertheless, this is the third and last part series for these studies of slash chords and how triad plus a bass can help us harmonize particular modes. And from next lesson, we're going to delve deeper into the harmonic minor modes in its complete forms. So in a way, this is also like a primer into looking at the harmonic minor modes and how basically they're constructed. Let's look straight away at the harmonic theory, although by now it should be clear how this develops. But for those of you that haven't seen that yet, let's have a look. So here is a minor harmonic scale in the key of A. The intervals are 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, and major 7. So as you can see, in a way, it's like a melodic minor scale, but with a flat 6 as opposed to a natural 6. Here is the vertical structure. So you have 1, flat 3, 5, 5, major 7. In this case, we'll look at the upper structure also in the extensions, where we have a 9, so the B note. We have an 11, the 4th, and we have a flat 13, the F. As usual, we're going to basically isolate group of 3 notes, so triads, and in this case, A, C, E spells A minor. And if we look at C, E, G sharp, so the flat 3, 5, and major 7 of this arpeggio, and we think of C as the root note, now we have C augmented. And if we take E, G sharp, and B, so 5th, major 7, and 9, we have a simple E major. G sharp, B, and E gives us G sharp diminished. B, D, and F gives us B diminished. D, F, and A gives us D minor as a triad. Last but not least, we have F, A, and C that gives us an F major. So in terms of slash chords, we can think of this as simple A minor, obviously. And this becomes C augmented over A. Same way this becomes E over A. We have G sharp diminished over A, B diminished over A, D minor over A, and F over A. Obviously, as we will see from the PDF attached to this lesson, this process of harmonizing basically the vertical structure in triads is applied to each individual mode, and hence we have the series of modes applied to the harmonic minor scale. So if we look at the PDF attached to the lesson, we have already all the modes, all 7 modes of harmonic minor, and how slash chords are developed in the context. So you have the harmonic minor, here is the vertical structures, this is the first line that you see here, and here is the triads as they develop. And here is basically the sequence. So it's minor, augmented, major, diminished, diminished, minor, and major. And as you can see, it matches minor, augmented, major, diminished, diminished, minor, and major. The reason here is not written in A, but I only give you an example in C, which you can transpose in all key, is because then when you look at the slash chords, here you have the interval from the roots. So from the root, you have a minor chord, and in fact, in the key of C, you would have C minor. In the key of C, from the flat third, and the flat third of C is E flat, and the chord has to be augmented, so you have a flat 3 augmented over R, where R is the root note, so hence is E flat augmented over C. From the 5th of C, so the 5th of C is G, you have a major chord, so it's 5 over R, and you have G over C, and so forth and so on. So again, these tables are kind of like a dictionary that you use to consult it when you want to develop slash chords starting from a melodic idea. So you take a mode, in this case we're going to take, for example, harmonic minor, and instead of using, let's say the usual chords, when we study harmonic minor, we'll see like, it's a minor major 7 type of chord. You can have a minor major 9, minor major 11, etc. But this is a different approach which starts from a melody, so from a mode, and harmonizes it using basically slash chords. And in fact, if you look at, for example, what we just did, I'm going to loop the minor harmonic scale in A that we looked in this example, and then I'll show you some of the chords, how it sounds. And from the example we looked at, we can have, for example, E over A, F over A, and they sound like this. We also saw C augmented. We saw G sharp diminished over A. B diminished over A. We also saw D minor over A. In this case, I'm using A on the 5th string as a bass, and on the last 3 strings, I'm basically playing the triads. D, F, E, B diminished, again F, E, C augmented, as I pointed out previously, obviously it's the fact that you are playing this particular scale that allows for these triadic chords over bass note to sound minor. What I mean by that is, when we look at, say, a slash chord like, for example, D minor over A, ultimately what you're playing of the minor harmonic mode is the 11, the flat 13, and the root note. As a matter of fact, you're not playing the flat 3, you're not playing the major 7, so in theory, you could not possibly say that that's a minor chord. But the fact that the melody is based on harmonic minor is making it sound minor, although it is not. As you noticed when I was playing chords, they all sounded somehow variations of a minor chord, getting different extensions of the harmonic minor mode. But nonetheless, in theoretical, if we want to have a discussion about theory, then, well, the flat 3 isn't there. Is that a minor chord? And to be honest, it's not relevant. This is just a different way of structuring chords. They're all valid, and this is actually, it's very interesting. It can be very creative. In order for you to practice this material, I created a backing track like I did for lesson 82. Let's have a look at the PDF that is associated with the backing track. So, as we did with lesson 82 backing track, with this backing track we're doing more of the same, but this time we're incorporating harmonic minor modes into the exercise. Since we haven't yet explored these modes in detail, and we will start in lesson 84, we'll begin by focusing on the first degree of the harmonic minor modes as an introduction. Unlike the lesson 82 track, this track also offered the opportunity to explore a different compositional approach using slash chords. In lesson 82, we chose 4 random modes in different keys and derived some slash chords from them to use in the backing track. This time, however, we are working with 4 different modes, all starting from the same root, in this case A, and creating slash chords over a bass pedal to reflect the modes we have chosen. What that means is, for lesson 82, we picked up, now I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's been like we went, F sharp Ionian, going into E flat Mixolydian, going into A Superloquian. So we choose 4 different modes from the 4 different keys. In this case, I thought it would be a good idea instead to establish a a pedal in the bass. In this case, it's a pedal of A, and use 4 different modes of A to gather the difference in sound, and how that develops. This means that for each mode, we have the following triads available as slash chords over a bass note. So for A harmonic minor, I could have picked any of these triads over A. For A superlocrian, I could have picked any of these triads over A. For A Ionian, more of the same, and for A Dorian, more of the same. In the case of the backing track, I decided to use this particular combination. So for A harmonic minor, I'm playing E over A and F over A, repeated twice. For A superlocrian, I went for E flat over A and F over A. For A Ionian, I went for D over A, E over A. And for A Dorian, I went C over A and D over A. As you can see, I decided to use just major triads and with as close voicings available possible. In other words, you end up with something that sounds roughly like this is for harmonic minor, and in fact, the scale that goes with that. And then for A superlocrian, I went for E flat triad. So basically, I'm just going a semitone down in a way. Back to F, and that's the scale that goes with that. For A Ionian, I went with D and E. And last but not least, for Dorian, I went with C and D over A. Now, attached to this lesson, there is 2 backing tracks. They are the same backing track, but one is minus lead, which means it uses this combination of triads. And the second one instead doesn't have either lead or the chords themselves, the triad themselves. It's basically drum and a pedal of A, so that you can experiment chordal-wise with any of this. So when it comes to harmonic minor, I used E over A and F over A, and then I used E flat over A and then F over A, but you can use any combination of this to highlight each individual mode. I'm going to set up the backing track now so you can have a listen roughly of, what kind of sound you get out of it. Bear with me 1 minute as I set it up in the DAW, and I'll play for a minute. So this backing track is a lot of fun, and but also it's a challenge. You're changing mode every 4 bars, so you're basically changing, the neck changes, every 4 bars. But I thought that 4 bars is enough time to try and kind of think ahead. It's not an easy task, but it's a possible one. As you will see from the PDF, you also have the individual fingerings. So each page you're looking at harmonic minor, super local, A Ionian, A Dorian in this area of the neck. So you can move from one to the other. And you can even exercise by having these diagrams in front of you so you can see how the dots changes all the time and of course the interval change. And as you move to the second page, now you have this area of the neck moving across the 4 different modes, and next area of the neck, next area of the neck, next area of the neck. And you're basically back to square one. So as you can see, there is a lot of fun that can be had by just deciding I'm gonna write some music using some particular scales, and then derive the harmony using slash chords as opposed to a more traditional way of doing thinking of chords. I hope the lesson was informative. As I say, that this is part 3 and the final part of the study of slash chords using modes and using triads. In the future, we might look at something similar by using extended triads, so we go even more fusiony. But for the moment, let's leave it at this, and lesson 84, we're going to be studying the harmonic minor modes. That's it for now. It's been a pleasure as always. Bye.